Hello, I am the Irish guy, and so everybody loves the England Euro 2024 squad, right? Now, not me. I'm gonna go through the squad and tell you one thing I hate about every squad member. I'm gonna be like Euro's answer to the Grinch. Okay. Hate is not the right word, because I'll be honest, no, I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. just to spit at Adam Wharton's Facebook page. Nah, I don't care that much. No, these are just things that irk me, frustrate me about each England player. Right, let's go. Jordan Pickford, he's from Sunderland. Okay, relax. I don't have a complete hatred of all things Sunderland, even though the place does smell like a hippo's armpit, and the shopping centre is always so deserted. I'm half expecting to bump into Will Smith and his dog. No, lads, what frustrates me about Jordan Pickford is that he could have had the perfect club career if his family lived 10 miles up the road. I happen to think that Pickford and Newcastle United is actually a perfect marriage. The Geordies don't want to admit it because, lads, these guys would sooner agree to share a bath with Johnny Vegas than even shake this bloke's hand. But I just know in any other world where he was brought up as a Geordie, he would be an absolute legend at St James's Park. If he had been in Newcastle's academy since 2002, and if he had burst into the starting 11 when they were rebuilding in the championship 8 years ago, instead of, you know, the insufferably average Carl Darlow, if he had stayed at St James's Park, sticking with them under Rafa Benitez and Steve Bruce, well, lads, he is the perfect modern ball-playing goalie that Eddie Howe craves. I mean, instead of constantly having to go through a string of Burnley goalies, instead of trying to convince himself that James Trafford doesn't now have the self-belief of the donkey of Winnie the Pooh, I genuinely believe Pickford would be perfect. Lads, he would have Champions League nights under his belt. His attitude, his personality, everything. I'm telling you, Newcastle fans will love him. St James's Park would be to him what the Octagon is for McGregor. It would be his arena. Can you imagine him playing up to the fans after beating PSG this season? I mean, Nick Pope by comparison, lovely lad, yes, but he has all the charisma of Bran of Game of Thrones. But Pickford, he would be a homegrown Geordie legend. And he'll have, what, 5 years left in his tank as number one? And would probably become Newcastle's all-time record appearance holder with over 500 games. And let's be honest, by the time he's done, he's probably going to have lifted a trophy. But no, because his clearly selfish parents just had to give birth to him in Sunderland, oh no, instead, he's Newcastle United's enemy, which is just a complete waste of what could have been an epic career. Aaron Ramsdale, he's impossibly positive. Oh, Aaron Ramsdale, I don't get it. This is a man who should be down in the dumps. He has just seen his Arsenal career destroyed within 5 minutes of trapping himself into a new long-term deal. This is somebody who, by all rights, should not have smiled since August of last year. I mean, lads, if I accidentally smear my own armpit hair into a slice of toast, oh, then I'm sulking for the rest of the afternoon. But this guy, he's been beaming all year, joking with his teammates after games, applauding David Raya on the bench, and turning up to Wembley dressed as Hagrid. How? Just how? How is he so unbelievably positive when he is currently trapped on the bench? Lads, goalkeepers getting transferred is rare. If you are stuck on the bench, it is terrifying. For example, Joe Hart was the England number one, a two-time Premier League champion, four-time Golden Glove winner, and yet when he was no longer wanted at the Etihad, he had to settle for a Torino who had just finished 12th in Serie A. If I was Aaron, I'd be very afraid. I certainly wouldn't look like I live on Sesame Street. Honestly, this guy is 2 smiles away from spooning with Elmo in the bath. Dean Henderson, his unlikable ego. Look, I wanted to like Dean Henderson. The bloke looked like a confident, quality, refreshing young goalkeeper. Coming through on loan at Sheffield United 5 years ago, surely he was in line to the Manchester United throne. And then he opened his mouth. Lads, there was a countdown on David De Gea's contract. He was day by day getting ever closer to being rendered unemployed. And what does Henderson do? Does he bide his time like a two-faced spy in the background? No. He decides to complain that he was on the bench. Yeah, Eric Ten Hag doesn't like his players to have independent thought. If this man had just showed patience and worked on his kicking, then maybe there would have been no need for Andre Onana. Sorry, Henderson, but you do look like you're about as arrogant as Chris Brown. Kyle Walker is a fantastic footballer. He is an absolute superstar on the pitch. He has been the best right back in the world for years. This is someone who has been officially more successful than Gary Neville. So it's just a shame that he's constantly been in the gossip column in the tabloids for the most stupid of things. Remember his parties during lockdown? And most recently, this nauseatingly annoying love triangle. A few months ago, he did an open interview groveling to his wife. I don't care if she does have you blocked on WhatsApp, mate. I don't care if she's got her scary big brother now camping out on her porch with a bat. Don't bother the rest of us with these desperate interviews. I want to like Walker. But it's such a shame that the greatest right back of this generation clearly has the brains of a worm. Kieran Trippier, he's washed up. I don't hate Kieran Kieran Trippier for this. Far from it. I'm just frustrated by the fact that at the age of 33, he is finished as a top player. Don't get it twisted. His form for Newcastle over the last 6-7 months has been garbage. I have never seen a more instant, dramatic fall off. It's like his career was cancelled overnight. This is like the Alexis Sanchez of right backs. Because lads, Trippier before Christmas, he was world class. I remember thinking he was putting in a man of the match display against Manchester United in December, but since then, it's like he's had his talent dragged out of his nose. John Stones, his disproportionate success. Don't get it twisted. John Stones is a fantastic footballer, but can he please stop winning things because his trophy cabinet is wildly disproportionate to his actual ability? Look, I think he's great, but he is rapidly becoming the most successful English defender to ever live, and he ain't that good. He's already won 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, a Champions League, a UEFA Super Cup, and a FIFA Club World Cup. Somebody stop him, because he's only 30. This guy could realistically finish up his career having won 9 Premier League titles. Future generations are going to assume he was the Pele of centre backs. No, he's never even been close to peak Rio Ferdinand levels. And yeah, it's going to be on me and you to constantly having to explain to our grandkids how no, Stones was not one of the best centre halves of all time. Actually, and second thoughts, I don't think it is possible to have children with a Beanie Baby Bumblebee, so never mind. Mark Gahey, his timing is terrible. Oh, Mark Gahey. Look, he has established himself as a quality centre half for Crystal Palace. I just think his timing is dreadful. How frustrating must it be for him that he spent 14 years at Chelsea and he finally chose to leave them for Crystal Palace at the absolute worst time. Look, I get it, okay? This was a young team who had just lifted the Champions League. Chelsea, to him, was a closed shop. He was never going to get his chance, right? Right? Wrong. Lads, he left Chelsea at the absolute worst moment. Trevoh Chalobah is somebody who was in the same boat. Being at Stamford Bridge since he was a child, he clearly wasn't going to be given a sniff in the first team, right? Yeah, no. Since Gahey left, Chalobah has made his Chelsea debut, sure, and has also gone on to play for them 80 times. Gahey is the better player. This is somebody who should be a Chelsea centre-back. Lewis Dunk, he's not a one-club man. Look, Lewis Dunk is a miracle. This is somebody who began his academy career at Wimbledon, only choosing to join Brighton after Wimbledon moved 50 miles up the road. Considering Brighton were in the doldrums of League 2, the fact that this man has actually captained them in the Europa League, it's amazing. The only thing that would annoy me and frustrate me if I was Dunk is the fact that he's not a one-club man. Now, he had to spoil that by playing 8 games on loan at Bognor Regis Town and then cramming in just 2 matches at Bristol City. Is that it? 10 matches? 10 matches has spoiled his one-club legacy. How annoying must that be? It must feel like your grandparents who've been in a relationship since they were 14, but that romantic fairy tale was spoiled because the granddad had a 2-week affair with his cousin in 1995. Lads, do you know how rare it is for footballers to represent just one club their whole career? One club men are a dying breed. Dunk could have been the Maldini of the Brighton beach. But now, he just had to spend the February of 2010 spoiling it all by representing a team whose pre-match meal was probably chicken nuggets in the car. Ezri Konsa, nothing. Yeah, sorry, Ezri Konsa, but no, you don't actually annoy me at all. Next, Luke Shaw. He's a Mourinho enemy. Well, pretty simple. I love Jose Mourinho, and Luke Shaw is arguably one of his biggest adversaries throughout his entire career. Shaw simply did not listen to Mourinho's advice. Instead, he is someone who thinks that a grown man speaking loudly near him is bullying. Trust me, Luke, unless Mourinho was dunking your head in a toilet, unless he was stealing your phone during class and choosing to make things forever awkward between you and your grandmother by texting her a message asking if you can sniff her slippers on the loo, then it ain't bullying, Luke. Believe me. Jose is one of the greatest managers of all time. Somebody who helped make Ashley Cole undoubtedly the greatest left back on the planet. And Shaw, somebody whose fitness levels were also called out by Louis van Gaal, don't forget. He didn't listen. It's frustrating. Maybe if he had listened, he would also be the greatest left back alive because he had that potential at Southampton. People are calling him the next Gareth Bale. But now, he's not world class, and that's probably due to the fact that he's probably got a lunchbox filled with chicken wings under his bed. Joe Gomez, he can't score. Look, this is almost attention-seeking at this point. Joe Gomez is a 27-year-old footballer who has over 260 games of professional football under his belt and still has not scored. Is he doing this on purpose to seem wacky and cool? Is he determined to go his whole life without knowing what a goal feels like? Is he proud of this crazy stat? I don't get it. He is an imposing 6'2" defender who should be a menace from corners. And he's now a rampaging left back. Surely he's got the timing to pop up at the back post and score, right? No! I don't get it. I literally have no clue how this man has still not scored. This is like meeting a 50-year-old bloke who's never kissed anybody other than his teddy bear. gonna be me, isn't it? Conor Gallagher, he's massively disrespected. What frustrates me about Conor Gallagher is that this is someone who's clearly exceptionally proud to be the on-pitch captain for Chelsea. And yet the Chelsea hierarchy want to cash in, slapping a £50 million price tag on his head. This is what they did with Mason Mount. Except with Gallagher, he isn't actually holding anybody to ransom over wage demands. He is somebody who actually bleeds Chelsea. Unlike Mount, who probably had a photo of that fat Pompey fan sellotaped to the wall above his bed. Honestly, I feel so sorry for Gallagher's disrespect by the one club who he is desperate to feel the love from. Honestly, it's like some poor son who constantly makes his stepmom breakfast in bed, desperate to seek her approval, and yet she keeps trying to sell him to the local orphanage. Adam Wharton, he's exposed by ignorance. This one is on me. I feel embarrassed. If you told me a year ago that Adam Wharton will make England's Euro 2024 squad, I would assume you were talking about one of the physios or someone who's only on the plane so he can make the players scrambled eggs. I had no idea who Wharton was. This is the first time since Theo Walcott's inclusion in the England squad for the 2006 World Cup where I had never heard of the guy a year before. In my defense, it's not even like Wharton was even a championship superstar at Blackburn Rovers. No, he only made his debut less than 2 years ago. And no, I don't pay too much attention to Blackburn. Why would I? It would make about as much sense as somebody doing a university thesis on that squash spider on their grandma's rug. But still, I am embarrassed. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he doesn't have a position. Trent Alexander-Arnold has all the potential in the world to be a world-class footballer. He just doesn't have a position, which is sad. I have a feeling that we're all going to finally discover his actual best position on the football pitch when it's too late. When he's 28 years of age, he'll finally be chucked into the number 8 role in midfield and will shine to such a Toni Kroos-esque degree that we'll all be lamenting why this bloke wasted the first 10 years of his career as a defender. It's gonna be tragic. Like a woman who waits her entire life to find her Prince Charming, who she can finally settle down and have kids with. She finds that person when she's 46? Yeah, please don't try to have a child. He's probably going to be born with 4 legs. Alexander-Arnold was born in the wrong generation. We all know his best position as a right winger in an old-fashioned 4-4-2. Can you imagine how good he would have been in the title-winning Leicester side on the right side of midfield? It's sad to see, but Trent has been sort of wasted. Kobbie Mainoo, he kicked Newcastle out of Europe. FA Cup final, winning goal. Next, Declan Rice, he has 3 Ireland caps. Yeah, you all know. Not innocent. Underage caps like Jack Grealish. No. Actual 3 senior international games under his belt for the Republic of Ireland. Robbing them from someone whose actual dream it was to play for Ireland. This is someone who's playing friendlies for Ireland 6 years ago. And then spending that summer cheering on England at the World Cup. Ugh! Anthony Gordon, he doesn't lift weights. Look, Anthony Gordon gave a brilliant interview to Gary Neville a few weeks ago where Gina looked blown away by the fact that yes, Scousers can be articulate as well. Honestly, that man has such a prejudice against that city. I mean, what was he expecting? That Gordon would only communicate with a series of grunts? They're not all Roonies in that town. But yeah, one thing that came out of the interview was Gordon saying how he doesn't do weights at the gym because he doesn't want to lose his speed. That sounds like fear talking. Anthony, look at Gareth Bale. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. 2 formerly skinny wingers who piled on the muscle and it improved their game, I promise you. If Bale had refused to eat protein bars or step foot in a gym, ain't no way that skinny version of him is out-muscling Maicon, the greatest right back in the world, 3 times in one night to score a life-changing hat-trick against Inter Milan. I actually think that if Gordon had an upper body power, he would be unstoppable. But no, because he's still built like a comic book nerd who hasn't touched the burgers since he was 12, because he looks like somebody who eats salad and fingernails at restaurants, I actually think that is going to hold him back. He's going to be knocked off the ball for fun. Cole Palmer, his celebration. Come on, Cole. We get it, okay? Cole Palmer! But please get a new celebration. I get that it's your trademark, but I don't think you're gonna make this a nationwide trend. This isn't like the Sturridge dance, or when Dele Alli did this. No, you're not gonna have school kids across the nation suddenly scoring a goal and then pretending like they've just been locked in a fridge freezer at Tesco. Come on, Palmer, just switch it up a bit. Eberechi, his partnership with Elise will be short-lived. It's tragic. There is no more exciting a double act in the Premier League right now than Eberechi Eze and Michael Olise. Their telepathic, street-balling link-up play is juicier than a fat tomato. And yet, I just know they're going to be split up in the summer. This should be illegal, like separating twins at an orphanage. Honestly, these two are the 2 perfect complementary number 10 partnership, and yet they're going to be broken up. And now that Olise thinks he's French, they're not even going to be able to do it for England either. Honestly, these 2 are star-crossed lovers like Romeo and Juliet. Jared Bowen, nothing. Yeah, again, like, Konza. Nothing actually frustrates me about Bowen. Next, Phil Foden, the early career criticism. I remember when people thought that Pep Guardiola was suffocating Phil Foden by refusing to let him leave on loan as a child. I remember all the annoying words of people who thought that this was a young child who was being Jack Rodwelled and he needed to leave City for the sake of his career, like Jadon Sancho. Yeah. He's just been voted Premier League Player of the Season, becoming just the third English player to win that thing since 2005, and is now about to become the best paid English player of all time on a new deal worth £375,000 a week. I think Foden and Pep knew what they were doing. Ivan Toney is Brentford disrespect. Look, Ivan Toney is somebody who has spent the last 3 years tripping over his words ever since he became famous. This is somebody who has been inadvertently slagging off Brentford whenever someone shoves a phone in his face, and when he does try to speak about them sincerely, I don't think he can make it through one interview without alluding to the fact that he's leaving soon. Ollie Watkins, he proved me wrong. Yep, pretty much. I always thought that Ollie Watkins was just some average 10-goal-a-season striker in the Premier League, and that people were only gassing him up because of that unforgettable Villa debut where he scored a hat-trick against Liverpool. Although that was a fluke, and that he was another Neil Maupay, a Brentford goal machine in the lower leagues, but some inconsistent bumblebee in the Prem. Nope, he just had a 27-goal season for Villa and looks like prime Dwight York. I'm a dope. Harry Kane, he might be better than Alan Shearer. Lads, it was always great to have a definitive answer about who was the greatest goal scorer in Premier League history. As a true out-and-out number 9, Alan Shearer was untouchable. But now we're all made to think. I don't know who is better anymore, Kane or Shearer. I don't have a clue. And you know what? The fact that we don't have a definitive answer, that bugs me. I mean, Kane made his Premier League debut at St. James's Park in 2012 when he was some insignificant, lanky-looking child on the Spurs bench and was soon gonna fail on loan at Norwich. Imagine being told one day that that kid might be better than Alan Shearer one day. You'd be carried off by men in white coats. Anyway, that's the what do you think? What irks you about every player? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.